Witam wszystkich, ja jestem Krwawy Joe. Kontynuujemy naszą przygodę w Call of Cthulhu. Przerażający, klimatyczna przygodówka w zasadzie. Horror też przerażający całkiem. Najbardziej przerażające w nim jest to, że nie wiemy, co się zaraz może wydarzyć. I tak oto na naszych oczach coś zabiło jednego z pacjentów. Pozostaje nam nic innego, jak uciekać z tego przeklętego miejsca. Jeszcze się rozejrzę oczywiście. Ale chyba nic tutaj nie ma.
What killed him? Damn! The gas!
No nie.
Oh, my head.
Later. We need to move on.
Co tu się wyprawia?
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
No, jestem teraz w posiadłości Hawkinsów. Ja sobie zerknę teraz na naszą postać, jako że żeśmy dostali 1 punkt, 4 punkty nawet mam. Łącznie się uzbierały przez ten cały czas, jak żeśmy toczyli rozgrywkę. No więc Francis Sanders znał Sarah Hawkins i oskarżył ją o to, że stała się źródłem jego cierpienia. Człowiek ten wydłubał sobie oczy i pokrył ściany celi ezoterycznymi symbolami. Wydawał się mieć obsesję na punkcie tułacza, który miał związek z Sarą. God damn it. Zmarł na moich oczach w okolicznościach, których nie potrafię wytłumaczyć. Dr. Mary Colden. I proszę bardzo, co się stało z Charlesem Hawkinsem. Jednak żyje, pomimo prymitywnego i zdeformowanego wyglądu. To coś wyglądało jak Hawkins. Gdy Bradley go rozpoznał, został przez niego zaatakowany. Co mogło się stać z Charlesem w noc pożaru? Nigdy nie widziałem poparzonej ofiary w takim stanie. Coś tu nie gra. Coś tu nie gra. Powiedzcie mi lepiej, jak w takim razie, jakim prawem żyje policjant, który na naszych oczach zginął. Dobra. 4 punkty, tak? A więc psychologia, dociekliwość, elokwencja to jest to, w co idziemy. Psychologię niedawno żeśmy wyekspercili, można powiedzieć. Dociekliwość i elokwencja. Ekspert w końcu. I zaczniemy już elokwencję w takim razie do 4 cisnąć. Połowę. Myślę, że to jest ok. Nie wiem, czy teraz jest czas.
I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
No właśnie. Koniecznie chcemy się dowiedzieć. Na pewno dostaniemy jakieś wyjaśnienia przecież.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
To wszystko, co masz mi do powiedzenia, kobieto?
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
To no, trzeba naprawdę być zawodowcem w medycynie, żeby stwierdzić, że on powinien nie żyć? Aha, no w sumie chyba, że jako zawodowiec w medycynie byłbym w stanie stwierdzić, że to nie była zwida. To wtedy tak.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
It seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Ale co, nie poszedłeś, już tam nie poszedłeś za mną, tak?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Jakoś tak chętnie urywa ten wątek w zasadzie, że albo mu to nie pasuje, że nie pamięta i dziwnie się z tym czuje, co zresztą teraz jego twarz by tak jakby sugerowała. No, albo pamięta, ale kłamie, co nie? No, ale raczej wygląda na to, że chyba nie pamięta i źle się z tym czuje. Że to było dziwne dla niego, woli o tym nie mówić.
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Co, nie wiem, może tak po prostu. Może dlatego, że w sumie jesteśmy w posiadłości, gdzie jest prawdopodobnie ukryte przejście do ich tam miejsca kultu i tak dalej, nie wiem.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
No trochę masz rację, to znaczy nie wiemy dokładnie co go zabiło, więc nie ma sensu tam opisywać sytuacji w tej chwili przynajmniej, później można jej powiedzieć dokładnie.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
No i też, okej, rozumiem, wiem.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
Tak, dobrze, wiemy co mamy robić, porozmawiać z panią Sanders, ale... Moment, chciałem mapę włączyć, tutaj nie ma mapy chyba. Ale... Dlaczego by nie sprawdzić, czy jest to przejście do tunelu? Jeżeli jest, no to wystarczy pokazać temu funkcjonariuszowi, Boże, policjantowi, tak? No powiedzieć, zobacz, tutaj, tu są te tunele, o których mówiłem. Kojarzysz coś? Zresztą nie wiem, weź ekipę.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
To nie wygląda na renomowany jakiś, kurde, instytut. Ja bym tego instytutem nawet nie nazwał, to wyglądało jak...
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you? What was I supposed to do, Detective? Upon seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands. I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives. A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why? The Shambler. I need to see it.
Rozdamy sobie punkty. 2, więc elokwencja idzie teraz w górę, mam nadzieję, niedługo. No, jeszcze trochę. Wow. Widzieliście to?
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Gdzie masz ten obraz ogólnie? Tu jest coś, o.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
No hej. Zgubiłem się.
A strange Amerindian pendant. I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing. Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Wow. Encyklopedia nieznanych i monstrualnych stworzeń.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Który to jest ten tułacz? O, dałem radę. Kluczyk. To siły mi było potrzeba. Okidoki. No, nazbierał tutaj co nieco.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery. What the hell